We're going to explain how to resolve the unresolved reference BuildConfig error in Android Studio. This frustrating error usually pops up when your Android app can't find the BuildConfig class, which holds important build-specific information. Let's tackle this problem step by step. 1. Sync project with Gradle files. The most common cause is a simple Gradle sync issue. In Android Studio, click File, Sync project with Gradle files. This forces Android Studio to reread your project configuration and rebuild the BuildConfig class. If the error persists after this, move on to the next steps. 2. Clean and rebuild project. Sometimes, cached files can interfere. Try cleaning and rebuilding your project. Go to Build, Clean Project, followed by Build, Rebuild Project. This process removes old build files and creates fresh ones, potentially resolving the problem. 3. Check Gradle files. Ensure your write single quote build.gradle write single quote files, both the project level and module level ones, are correctly configured. Look for any syntax errors or inconsistencies. Pay close attention to dependencies. Missing or corrupted dependencies can cause this error. Make sure your Gradle version is compatible with your Android Studio version. 4. Invalidate caches, restart. If the above steps fail, try invalidating Android Studio's caches and restarting the IDE. Go to File, Invalidate Caches, Restart, and select Invalidate and Restart. This clears out potentially problematic cache data that might be causing the conflict. 5. Check your import statements. In the code where you're encountering the error, double-check that you have the correct import statement for BuildConfig. It should usually be import your .package.name.buildconfig. Replace write single quote your .package.name write single quote with the actual package name of your app. A simple typo here can lead to this error. 6. Module dependency issues. If your project has multiple modules, ensure that the module where you're using BuildConfig correctly depends on the module where it's generated. Check the dependencies in your module level write single quote build.gradle write single quote file. 7. Examine build variants. Make sure you're building the correct build variant. If you're using different build variants, like debug and release, verify that BuildConfig is generated for the variant you're currently working with. 8. Check for typos. Carefully review the code where the error occurs. A simple typo in the BuildConfig reference could be causing the problem. 9. Update Gradle in Android Studio. An outdated Gradle version or Android Studio can sometimes cause compatibility issues. Update both to the latest stable versions. If the issue still remains, consider checking for any relevant updates to your Android SDK tools or plugins as well. Following these steps systematically should help you pinpoint and resolve the unresolved reference BuildConfig error in your Android Studio project, allowing you to build and run your app successfully. Remember to save your changes after each step before rebuilding your project.